What were your first impressions when you heard about this project?
My first impression was excitement, but tempered with a little bit of, I guess, pinch of salt on the whole thing, because sometimes these kind of big ideas often don't come to reality, and so that was it was something that, okay, well, let's see how this goes, kind of thing.
Excellent. And how did it go?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the more we talked, the more we realised that this was a very much a serious proposition, and there's some really big ambition to achieve something quite special, but also in quite a tight timeline. So we carried on talking and started kind of putting a plan together, and ultimately that led to the project that went ahead.
How did you work with Maida through the project?
The relationship was pretty close, really, and actually worked very well. So there's multiple people involved in putting this whole kind of campaign and development together, and so our role was very much on the technical development of the helmet and the technical elements. But Maida were constantly keeping in touch with, what was the requirement from the advertising agency, what were the timelines, and so it was a kind of a constant kind of dialogue, really, of kind of working out what it is that could be done, whether that would fit the needs of the campaign, and then ultimately finding the sweet spot so that we could get something, I guess, really impressive, but still practical and achievable within the timelines.
What were the key design considerations during the development of the product?
The key thing was, how do we fit all this technology into the product? How do we get all these kind of effectively what are quite cutting edge technologies into a helmet which is already quite space efficient, and every bit of space is already used quite effectively. So that was one of the key challenges. Also kind of understanding what is the tech that we're going to need, and how do we start building up a system that's going to work and going to be able to deliver the kind of user experience that ultimately is needed. So it was those kind of considerations, what are the components we need, how big are they, where are they going to fit, and how long is it going to take to sort of pull all this together and tie it into a usable product.
What were some of the ups and downs you experienced throughout the process?
I mean, key things really were putting the first prototypes together, getting them working, and particularly kind of challenging was, as soon as the first prototype was working, it was getting it on a plane, getting it over to New York, demonstrating it to Translation, to Maida, and ultimately to AT&T. And I guess the pressure to keep everything working when it's held together with sticky tape and bubblegum kind of thing. It's like all the first one just kind of plugged in and made to work. So that I guess was one of the big challenges, and protecting that sort of precious little baby as it travelled across the United States to be demonstrated to all the key sort of people in the project. But that taught us a lot, and obviously then we could feed some of those learnings into the later development.
What would be the next steps of moving towards putting this into production?
So to turn this into a kind of consumer-ready product, commercial product, needs quite a lot of work in terms of miniaturizing everything. So at the moment, things are put together with kind of standard off-the-shelf modules that all just plug into each other. A lot of that electronics can all be shrunk down, and we can make kind of customized electronics PCBs that shrink all the size of the electronics and do all those functions in one kind of small purpose-built board. So that's one of the things, and then a lot of testing, durability testing, those kind of things that need to happen in order to make sure that it's not just a safe product, but that it can deliver for years and seasons and so on, after the other. So those are the kind of testing, and that involves obviously more development and working with suppliers of some of these key components to really get that kind of durability and quality pinned down.